wild times we're living through right now. Kind of crazy. Seeing a lot of stuff happening, a lot of civil unrest, but that leads to people talking, people posting. A friend of mine, Tom Parkin, made a post that pretty much equated to if the people who are condemning the rioters, saying that once you start being violent and looting, your argument is invalid. This is, of course, a fallacy, and he went on. It pretty much ended up being people over property was the gist of it. Well, there was a comment on there where someone was trying to, make his point along the lines of that it was disorganized and violent. I tried to point out to that person, who I'll leave nameless because I don't know him like that. I tried to explain it to him. He just kept going, and I was losing my patience, and I wasn't going to be as polite as I'm going to be right here. So, but it led me. His thing was pretty much it was disorganized and violent, and it led me thinking about, well, there's a reason it's disorganized, because the black communities, there's a cost to being a leader in the black community. And so I'm going to talk about 4 people who were leaders in the black community and what happens when you put yourself out there like that. A couple of them you heard of, and a couple of them you probably haven't. So first, Martin Luther King. 1968, leader of the civil rights movement. You definitely heard of him. He's actually in your history books. Shot in Memphis on a balcony at a hotel. Yeah, not ideal way to go, but was a black leader, was a leader of the community. Next one, Malcolm X, where I get my professional wrestling name from. I tend to be, I don't share his views on white people, but, still outspoken, leader. I understand his anger though. 1965, shot by 3 gunmen, 21 gunshot wounds. Still, leader of the black community. Huey P. Newton, co-founder of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. That last part gets left out a lot. I'm not sure why. In 1989, shot, killed. And then this one. This is the 4th one, the last example I'm going to use. This one bothers me a lot. But Fred Hampton, leader of the Chicago sector of Black Panther Party for self-defense. He was drugged so that he would stay asleep when the FBI illegally did a raid on his residence. During said raid, Fred Hampton was asleep due to the drugging, next to his 9-month pregnant wife at the time. The police and FBI agents came in, took her out of the room, and then proceeded to fire at the head of the bed. Only hit him in the shoulder. So, conversation that was overheard by another member went along the lines of, "Did we get Fred Hampton?" "Yeah, we got him in the shoulder." "No, yeah, we got him, but he's gonna make it." Then an officer proceeded to go in there and shoot 2 more times directly into his head. "There, I got him." I'm not gonna post images of this. I'm not gonna do any of that. You can Google all this stuff. The point is, when you become a black leader, you put a target on yourself. That target isn't always taken. There's black leaders still alive now, but I shouldn't have I shouldn't have to worry when I see Cornel West out there being outspoken and talking. I shouldn't have to worry when Killer Mike goes out and speaks to the city of Atlanta. I shouldn't have to worry when Stephen Jackson speaks on the murder of another black man that, oh, they just put a target on themselves. But, sorry, it just makes me so angry, and it's very upsetting. I'm trying to keep my composure. The point is, when people were complaining about how disorganized and how it just seems like wanton violence and there's nobody in charge, it's because if someone were in charge of this, there's a chance they get assassinated, because that's what history has shown us, right? So while you're, instead of condemning, these riots and the people who, there are people who are, I'm not a fan of wanton violence. I think it's kind of crazy. But history has shown that, the only time things get done is when something gets done. And this is something that's being done right now. Don't be so quick to criticize this organization when we can't have leaders that are going to live to see anything through. Thank you. That's been a history lesson. So, there you go. All this stuff, through Googling. I mean, I read the books. I read books. I've done the research on this. But you can just Google it. Like, there's this whole database called the internet. You're welcome to look it up. But what I'm saying is, don't be so quick to, criticize before you look into maybe why.